Welcome back to Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. This is your host, Eric Cicada, aka Mr. Honest. It is so great to be back with you again today for another episode of Hawkeye. Yes, it is our second episode after show, and the second episode of the series Hawkeye. Will there be a season of Hawkeye? Yet to know, yet to be known. This is seeming like a wonderful Christmas show, something maybe we want to throw on every year as Marvel fans around Christmas. And you know what? As I'm going to say this second episode, I haven't heard much because I've been avoiding spoilers. I didn't watch the first two together like most of you most likely did. I want to break them down to my liking, and there's a lot being laid down in these first episodes. This wasn't like WandaVision where we're getting kind of two episodes of a sitcom-y trope where we don't know what's going on in this world. They're just kind of parody sitcom episodes, and then we'll learn more about the show later. No. We are getting a lot here with the first two Hawkeyes, and Kate Bishop as a character I think is going to be a long-standing player in the MCU going forward. I personally think we're going to get a lot more of her as Hawkeye as a first-person view character. We're gonna see her story more hands-on than that of Clint Barton. And so it's good to be here with you, and we're talking about that. I think this episode's more character-driven. We didn't get as much action, and I don't know how many of you / how many are out there like kind of were or are kind of upset about that. I feel like this episode had to be that way, and even if I was like sitting there at the end, like, who's this character that the Tracksuit Mafia's boss? Why isn't it Black Widow's sister? Well, because look, they got to introduce a few other people. We don't need any other outside players for this to be a good show. This is going to be a fantastic show, just introducing a new Hawkeye. And the fact that it can be would go a long way to give Clint Barton, A, good send-off, and B, just a fantastic series of his own. So no one else stands in the way of him for a change. And then you might say, why give him a predecessor? Well, why not have a really fantastic character showcase like what he hasn't been just in the background. He has been an Avenger this entire time. And he has earned his keep as an Avenger. And from the first Avengers, as we saw in the first episode, he was on those rooftops fighting the Chitauri, and he was helping Iron Man in those tight city alleyways when Tony was getting really, really beaten down by those Chitauri. He was getting overwhelmed, like on the ground. I watched Avengers on this podcast, and breaking down movies and shows, opposed to just watching them, is really fun. It can be like tedious as heck. Like the movies, I had to like stop a while because I don't want to be ruined for me, but like at the same time, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it's so great to see him on that level, because you're rewinding and watching. Breaking down is so fun because you're getting to see every little detail. And I remember just the Hawkeye Iron Man part, like where Iron Man's running through the buildings, and Hawkeye's just like, giving Iron Man call outs, and really good teamwork. And a lot of people didn't like also around the Avengers movie 2012. A lot of people. I hate being like that. Dude, I really like that scene from that last episode, and it continues on that theme of the legend of Hawkeye and kind of how he carries that. How will that be carried on, and how is he going to represent that? How will that be represented? How is that represented? I like all that. I wonder how much of Clint and Nat's history we'll go into in the show. I still wonder. We went into it a little bit. It's kind of always going to be reminded of. Just a reminder: 6 days until Christmas. At the beginning of this episode. I want to know if we will meet Yelena. Will we get any of that? Is that just going to be saved for later? I don't know why I'm like got this. We're gonna lose Clint in this feeling. I don't know why. We pick up right where we left off. Clint, Hawkeye, asks Kate who she is. She says, Kate Bishop. You're just a kid. Where did you get this suit? He says. He tells her that they have to get out of there, and they hurry off together. Hawkeye. she's so happy to see him. That is her hero. That is her motivation, her inspiration. And then go through the episode. Remember later, she says, "Brandon, you need branding." And he's like, I'm not looking to sell anything. Because, like, it's such an innocent thing to say you need branding. It's like, it's funny, so she isn't, like, trying to sell anything. She is just talking about, it's like, he doesn't have that superhero look that Iron Man has or Ant-Man has, which, ironically, they're not purposely doing the superhero look, but they embrace it. Iron Man's definitely doing the... Okay, Tony's definitely embracing the superhero look. Definitely embracing the superhero look. But I think she got such a good vision of him fighting on that rooftop in that sleeveless vest. Like, that's like the most comic-y Hawkeye look that we almost get, like, in action. And she, like, straight up, like, wants to be the comic version of that more than ever. She is a superhero. Like, she wants to be the superhero Hawkeye. And you could see that in her eyes when she sees him. He's a freaking hero, especially to her. Clint brings Kate back home. Also, walking down the street, they pass by a pizza place, and Clint he eyes a guy. He's just very weary of everyone. He's 100% on patrol now. He was on vacation the whole first episode with his family. Now he's at work. Clint brings Kate back home, and they meet the one-eyed dog. Oh my goodness! Does anyone else just love this dog? Are you freaking out how gorgeous and beautiful and how much you just want this dog to be okay? And if they do anything to this dog, this show, I will literally boycott Disney, and I'll go find this dog and bring him home. I think the dog's gonna be just fine. Seriously, Disney, don't you don't mess this up. I didn't say anything bad. And also, Disney, don't hurt me, and send out your stormtroopers to hurt me. She tells Clint that she inherited the place. Me just realizing that, is this... I thought her mom was at the place that was her dad's place that they didn't want to sell, but is this the place that she was rescued from by Clint as a kid at the Battle of New York? They've been kind of showing it very nonchalantly and slowly. She has a big bow and arrow target in there, and you'd wonder, since it was attacked and destroyed, and like maybe there was some sort of city funding project to put it all back together. I don't know. I feel like they're kind of nondescript about it. And if they were descript about it, I missed it. So always let me know, marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com. I always want to slip that in there mid-episode if you're listening. And don't be afraid to email. We love to hear your thoughts. I'll throw it on the show, and we will get back to you. It sounds like you're calling the dentist or your pharmacy. No, we are a podcast, and we love Marvel, and we would love to hear from you. Thank you for listening, by the way. Drop a review if you like it. I'm going to keep going off the kilter here because I took notes. And I'm going back to notes instead of watching the episode and reacting to it for now, because I think I can get out more elaborately my thoughts on the episode this way. And listening back, I think I'm a little bit jumpy. And jumpy, that being like, I'm really excited about the episode as I'm watching it. And I pause, and I don't know how to get my thoughts out, because when I'm typing them, it's pretty easy to do it, knowing I'm going to say this later and not right now. And I have like so much excitement and energy when I'm watching it. It might just be exciting to be able to get those thoughts together and tell you like an hour later after the show's over. And so I think for now that's what I'm going to do, unless like we get a giant number of people, you guys revolt, and you're like, do the reactions. We want the reaction, Mr. Honest. Marvel Maniac isn't what it is unless you're reacting to the episode. I think I'm going to do this for a bit. I'm going to write notes and then talk. Clint asks her if she's 18, and she says 22, and he's like, same thing. He asks her for the Ronin attire and where she got the suit. And she tells him black market auction. And shouldn't you be in school? And Kate has a few cues for Hawkeye himself. Now my stuttering is because my notes are bad. Like, they're badly typed. It's not because I don't know what I'm saying. It's because I can't type. And I'm gonna accept that. I'm gonna accept this. It's just really good to be talking about Hawkeye, the show. Like, this is the first guy who should have maybe got a show. But that being said, it's being done very, very, very correctly and in homage of this character that we've had for a long time in the MCU. And I really like the homage to other movies in this episode. Even homage. I mean, hey, they're directly in the show. You're kind of my favorite Avenger. Can you sign my bow? She says. Are you okay? Yeah, you should see the other guys. She says. I mean, she's right. This girl can fight. Kate Bishop isn't like laying down and taking hits on the face. She's a freaking fighter, and he hasn't really seen that just yet. He will soon, and he says the tracksuit mafia, and she says that's a little on the nose, don't you think? I like Kate Bishop's sass. The sass is really, really great on this one. She's a little. I want to see her and Peter Parker talking and fighting together, because they will be quipping all day. They will be quipping all day. Clint warns Kate that the tracksuits aren't the only enemies that this gang has made, and she has to be sure no one else thinks she's Ronin. She says that she just and he asks her, like, did you do anything else while wearing the suit? Did you do anything else while wearing the suit? We know that she maybe did a couple things while wearing the suit. I didn't even think of that like at this time. And she's like, I just dropped the dog off here. She may be like witnessing, like maybe close to a murder, but forget it. We will get there. We will get there. At that moment, the mafia starts throwing Molotov cocktails through the window. It gets fiery real fast. The two rush into action. Clint throws a cocktail right back down at them, and as one of the tracksuit mafians, I don't think that's what you say. One of the mafia throws. Would it be mafians? Throws one mom, gets ready to yell. He pulls the cocktail behind his arm to throw it. Splashes in his hand. I had to rewind and watch this maybe 5 times. We get a reply to. You should see the other guys. Kind of what Hawkeye was saying to Kate. We see cut to Kate with her bow, and it's just she blew that thing right out of that guy's hand. It was very cool. It was very cool. Clint reminds them that they got to get that suit. So Kate shoots a fire extinguisher, and it goes all over the place before conveniently shooting outside at the mafia members. Like, I don't think she did that on purpose. There's no way. There's no way. The fire continues to spread, and the two escape the building while the mafia gets approached by the pizza shop owners, the main owners of the town. Nobody messes with these guys. They're like, you're gonna burn the whole place down. The mafia guys are like not like afraid of them, but like they're like bickering at each other over this. The tracksuit mafia is hilarious. Like, what a funny group of villains, and this is the exact type of stuff I wanted to see after Thanos came and went. Like, the Marvel Universe is all about his head right now. It's like nobody is okay, and just the villain hierarchy. That's exactly what Ronin did, right? Like the beginning of the show, we learned Ronin decimated the entire criminal underworld. Like, so like half the population goes back, and there's like just basically like half the criminal underworld's back, and like. What's that? Like just a bunch of idiots, like and then like the underworld's nothing. So we got the tracksuit mafia that's formed over the course of about the last year since in Showtime, I guess, right? A year about since the snap, we'll say, give or take. That's my guess. Christmas post snap, the first post Christmas snap, post snap Christmas, right? We'll say maybe we'll just keep going. So okay, so the Ronin decimated the underworld, and now the tracksuit mafia is the players. Okay, I'm back to just the pizza guys. That's back to the point of I'm not in disbelief by the pizza guys being the closers of this scene. And like I thought that was I didn't like. I'm not criticizing. I'm just like, this is a comic book show, and there's cheesiness in all this, and when I say cheesiness, it's like this there's going to be some guy that's like, oh, dude, the pizza scene just ruined it all for me. And, like, I don't know. I feel like we're all on board here anyway. So if you're here, you're on board. I get it. And you know what? You're not. If you don't like it, that's fine. You're welcome to not. You're not. You're welcome to do anything you want. I mean, I say that a lot. Avengers. So she asked if they're going to a safe house. Okay, no. So Kay asked where they're going. Because they're going to a subway station right now, and Clint's just kind of like getting them anywhere. They're with the dog, obviously, and they cut to them in a shopping convenience store. Because she's like, "Are we going to where? Where are we going?" And like he's like, "We're going to somewhere to get help." And she's like, "Are we going to Avengers Tower?" Avengers Tower moved 2 years ago during Spider-Man: Homecoming, right? So, what is she talking about? I feel like they did move it and publicly move it, right? So they weren't attacked in New York from aliens. Like I'm thinking maybe at first they kept the Avengers Tower in New York publicly as like a landmark. Like, okay, yeah, we'll leave the A up there, but we secretly won't be based there. But I don't think they would have left the A up there because that's basically a beacon to the other like worlds that they are going to be attacked. Like the Battle of New York happened, and then the A is there, it stands for the Avengers. So like in Tony's eyes, like after the big Sokovia incident, like they moved Avengers Tower with the A. It's like the A, so it's like a beacon to the universe. Like, come attack us here, and that's pretty much what happened. Like the Battle of New York ×2 would have happened at the end of Avengers 3, 4. Endgame. If that happened in New York. That's just like a good comparison. Like, Endgame would have happened in New York, and New York would have been destroyed if they didn't move Avengers Tower. My point is, Avengers Tower still exists, and why does Kate Bishop still think it's Avengers Tower? My question is that a continuity here? I don't think so. There's something happening. Maybe they're bringing back Avengers Tower. 1, 2. There's something new happening with it, and the third thing is really, like in Chicago here, we have the tallest skyscraper in damn near world. It's called the Willis Tower. It's been changed for 10 years to the Willis Tower. Nearly all of us call it the Sears Tower. And that pretty much is changing now. But like, it's just the thing we all do. It's the Sears Tower. It's been the Sears Tower. And I probably am still going to call it the Sears Tower. So Avengers Tower is always going to be Avengers Tower. So it's probably something like that. That's me digging in and nitpicking right there. The two get in line at the convenience store with the doggy. The dog is so damn adorable. I love this dog. Clint tells Kate he's got to find a place to stash her so he can recover the suit and clean up this mess. Kate says she's not luggage. She says she actually does know a place. Would a bag of money know a place? It's snowing and they get to an apartment. Kate looks down the names of people to buzz and she sees Moira Brandon. She taps random intercom buttons and looks back at Clint. One guy answers and she's like, "I got a pizza," and they get buzzed in. She tells Clint this is her aunt's place and that she's in Florida for the winter. Clint puts down her bow and tells her to clean her wounds, and he leaves. He says he's going back to her apartment to get the suit and to lock the door. Outside Kate's apartment building, police officers mull around a taped area as the bystanders look on. With his hood up, Clint ducks under the police tape and makes his way over to a fire truck. I freaking love this part. Clint is a man of many talents. He's a spy. Freaking spy, man. Okay. Standing out just outside its open door, he puts on a... he puts down his backpack and puts on a firefighter's jacket. Clint just thought this was like, what? He just got in. And like, and in a way, like, I trusted him fully because I'm like, he's probably done this before. Let's just watch him do it. Clint keeps his head down and he puts on a helmet and heads in. Hawkeye nails it. He's a damn pro. That's exactly what I wrote. He searches the place among the other firefighters. He looks over the whole room, but he doesn't see the suit anywhere. He returns to the truck and gets his backpack, and on the window of the truck, it says, New York City, NYC, LARPers. live action role playing. On a sticker, he takes note. He takes a note on it and takes off between emergency vehicles parked on the street. What a very specifically shot scene for just him having to maybe seen a sticker on some window. I mean, like, dude, we got to see. That was just okay. Very elaborate. At Kate's aunt's apartment, over the phone, Eleanor tells Kate that she was so scared and asks what happened to her. This is all the same the first night, if you believe it, the night of the last episode. She tells her that she went out the back. Clint walks in, and she's not telling her that she walked out of the back of the house that she saw Armand murdered, by the way. She's telling her about it at the party. She tells her that she went out the back. Clint walks in. Her and her mom say, "I love you," and hang up. Since when did everybody start saying "I love you" to everybody all the time? When did your heart shrink 3 sizes? When a little girl in a ninja suit stole my Christmas, Clint tells Kate. I already like the relationship, too. What is up? Like, why are they so great? Great dynamic between Clint and Kate. They just met each other. This is good casting. This is great. This is a great story. I like it so far. Clint sees Kate. She's cleaning her wound wrong. And he's like, "You're doing it all wrong." He cleans it correctly, and he shows her how. Ow, 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 ow. It actually, though, I actually just realized and remembered how much it hurt. It hurt me watching him clean it. It looked very good, like well done. It looked like a real wound. She says, "So how's my plate?" Place. I'm sure her plate was good. I hope she had something to eat this time. It was a long day for her. He says, "Crispy." She asks if he got the suit, and he tells her no. But you have a lead. He asks what makes her think that, and she just looks at his notepad. Now, this isn't even talked about again, but it's just a moment to show Kate's intelligence, and maybe that she is just on his level. And with Clint, she's not just sitting at home. She's not waiting to get out of this. She's in on this journey with him, and she's definitely wants to figure out what's going on. She tells him that her mom canceled all her credit cards, and Clint Googles New York City LARPers. He comes across a very dedicated Ronin cosplayer, very dedicated, and he texts his daughter and tells her to be ready in a few hours. He's gonna get everyone out of there. It's time. He holds the dog super closely, and he tells him he'll be back in the morning. Oh my God, this show better be nice to this dog. I'm telling you, this dog better make it out of this show. So I don't think Marvel has a heart to do that to a dog, like hurt a dog or snap a dog away, or I think they're gonna pull our heartstrings with this dog, though. It's a Christmas movie with a dog in it. I'm sorry to call it a Christmas movie, but this is 6 episodes long, and it's just an extended Hawkeye movie. Come on. I'm loving it. I keep saying it. Clint's son is... And it's morning now. They're exiting the hotel, it seems. Clint's son is watching the video of Kate flipping over traffic in the Ronin suit. It gets around, man. She's viral. Clint is getting his family in the car and wants to get his family out of town as soon as possible. It's very clear that their safety is his top priority. Lila, his daughter, notes the cut on his forehead and tells him she really thought he was going to be home for Christmas. She loves her dad. She wants her dad to be safe. And that is very clear. And this young actress, phenomenal. As the car drives off, Clint's grin fades. He wants to be with his family. The man just wants to be with his family. He spent 5 years without him. Cut back to the apartment. Kate is watching the news of Armand's death. Go figure. Kate's mom didn't see her as Ronin on the scene, but Ronin was seen fleeing on camera. So this doesn't look good at all for her, considering people are already making her out to be the original Ronin. In less than 24 hours, you've been on the news twice. Impressive, Clint tells her. So much tension and drama already. Oh my God. Clint says, I told you that suit was bad news. He definitely doesn't say it so like affirmatively, like I'm saying it right now. I'm just like, I just can't believe how fast like this gets so tied up. And the reason it does is because of the shit that happened outside of this movie. That is why. There's a lot of weight to all this. You know, a guy snaps half the universe away. There's a lot of stuff that can happen in 5 years before half the universe gets snapped back into existence. There's a lot of subtext there. And this, I love this series of Marvel. This is why we're doing MCU after show. We can't just do an after show for singular shows. This is why we can do an MCU after show. We got to talk about the movies too. Shang-Chi, we got to get to that. I want to do a detailed discussion about Shang-Chi because there's so much connecting back to all of the movies. I want to talk about all of it, and there's so little time, but we were going to get to all of it. So yes, it's all connected. It's all part of a bigger thing. I don't mean to keep laughing after every comment. It's just very exciting. I hope you all are excited too. Clint says, I told you that suit was bad news. And Kate says she needs to go. And he says that's the last thing you need to do. That's the last thing. And the tracksuit mafia tried to kill you twice yesterday. Don't forget that. I'm going to find this suit, and until I do, you are going to stay put. It's not safe, obviously. Kate says if she stays put, her mom will come find her. So Clint says she's not just going to listen. Like, she's not going to listen. Like, it's obvious at this point. So, time to change. She looks ridiculous. She's like in a completely like rich lady's outfit from her aunt's closet. And this is funny. She instantly changes. And it cuts to them walking through Times Square. And Kate is kind of standoffish towards Clint at this point. And she's like, we're going to be late because of you. And he says, well, you're going to be alive because of me. And he's kind of letting her know, like, you got to speak up. I got a hearing aid. And she's like, oh, what happened? And we get this series of insane moments from maybe all the Avengers movies, like of him just getting blasted and thrown around and just hiding from major colossal explosions and just monster accidents and him going through war, man. Like, you forget. When you're watching these Avengers movies, these guys are going through war, man. Hawkeye has been through it. He's been through it, and she didn't even realize that. Like, she's just like, what happened? Huh? I didn't have to think much about that, but like, that's a great detail. That's a really great detail. And they featured the one in the last Avengers movie that probably was the one that did it in. I don't know if they put it in last, but that definitely was the one that did it in. So a kid runs by them and says, oh, look, a superhero. And Clint definitely thinks that he's going to get run up to. By the way he looks. And he runs up to Ant-Man, like another Ant-Man, and Iron Man, it's a Katniss. And he's like, oh, it's Katniss. Kate says, look, the problem you have is branding. And Clint's like, well, I'm not trying to sell anything. She says, your whole thing is low-key, and it's a very hard brand to sell. And he's like, well, I'm not trying to sell anything. And she says, that should make it cooler, but with all the scary stuff that's happened since the Avengers appeared, people don't want that anymore. They want sincerity. You keep your heart close under layers of armor. Clint keeps emphasizing that he's not selling anything. And he's like, well, then what am I selling? And she says, you're selling inspiration. That's so good. It's really heartfelt. He says, if all goes as planned today, probably I'm never going to see you again, because she asked if they're going to meet later. I'm never going to see you again. So he's a little hard on her. And she says, well, you only taught me how to lose a tail, and I already know how to do that. He reminds her that I'll taught you how to clean a wound. Now you know that. How to properly clean a wound. I like this. See, they're not... we know they're going to meet each other again, even like at this point in the show. It's just bound to happen. But how is the question? Right? He gives her his number for emergencies only. Like Captain America giving Iron Man his number at the end of Captain America Civil War. They maybe didn't have to do that. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one thing I maybe wonder. Like, they didn't have to do that, really. Could have maybe like left a little tension there. She says she'll call him later. Like, okay, that's great. That's great. Kate marches up to her mom's room, office. In her mom's office, Jack is there. We get a lot of this episode. A lot of like Jack pops up. He's really good at just popping up, this guy, right? He's like, Katie. This guy's got creepy vibes. Jack's got creepy vibes, doesn't he? She corrects him, Kate. Damn right. She tells him, sorry for your loss. She saw it on the news. Kate wants to talk to her mom about everything, but if it could be without the interloper. Jack gives off the worst and strangest vibes of all time. I have that here written again. He says some awkward, overconfident stuff about seeking his approval, and I mean that. It's really awkward and really overconfident, but it doesn't come off as overconfident. He's completely confident in it. It's just, he shouldn't be saying it. It makes me uncomfortable. He says, I bought a book about being a stepdad. The actor's really good. I mean, oh my God, so good. I'm saying as a character, he kills it. Money well spent, Jack. Kate says. Eleanor asks Kate to dinner with them later, and Kate says yes if she can come up with the conversation topics. Clint walks through Central Park and gets to the New York City LARPers event. He sees the guy, Grills. His name is Grills, wearing the Ronin suit, and tries to go into see him, but one of the LARPers, she's very assertive, this woman, she tells him, you can't go in until the LARP ends at midnight. He's like, no, that's not going to work. I need to go in now. And she says, most people here are like 5 hours in New York City cops. If you don't follow the rules, it's going to get real messy. And it's like, okay, what are the rules? And he gets brought up to a sign-up tent. And he gets told beginners get 1 free hit. Okay, cool. And then he gets a scroll. And this is like for what we live by. And he's given some armor. And Clint charges his way through the crowd to get to Grills. And when he finally does, he immediately tells Grills he will fake punch him to get the suit or real punch him if he doesn't. Grills tells if he could just kill Hawkeye. It's Hawkeye. It's Hawkeye. It would make him look so cool. Oh, man. So he would just give him the suit. He's like, and I fought Thanos. It's so true, dude, but you got to get the suit, and these guys aren't that bad. So just play. You got to make it real. We got to have trial by combat. So back to Kate. She's texting Clint and asks if she misses him yet. And when she just receives a call from the New York Police Department. He asks if she's aware that there was a fire at her home last night. She replies that she doesn't. She replies and she doesn't seem so upset. He says, like, why aren't you more worried about this? And he asks where she was, and she tells him that she was at work. So he asks her to come in before work tomorrow. Clint actually puts on a show for the LARPers. I'm assuming we're going to see this in this next episode. We're going to see her go into work. I mean, not going to work. Go into talk to the New York City Police Department, and it might not look good for her. If they get out of the situation they're in at the end of this one, we'll see. We'll see how that goes, right? So Clint actually puts on a show for the LARPers in this fight, and I actually can't believe this is happening. Like, when it was happening, it was so silly. It made me laugh. Like, it's ridiculous. It's actually like almost like world breaking. Like, is Hawkeye really gonna do this? But then you think, like, this is a comic book show, silly, funny show. And at the same time, people really do LARP and roleplay. And does Hawkeye want to hurt anyone? Really? That are just really legit doing stuff? And there are rules to this. So he's doing what he has to get the thing, man. It's so silly. And the guy making sword noises with his mouth, and the way Jeremy Renner, like, Clint just reacts to this and throws him off. And he and Grills fight. And Grills tells him that he has to sell it. He does sell it, man. He does. When Clint finally loses, the crowd chants, "Burn the body!" Like, how much there is there to this? Like, just give him the thing, you know? Lots of emphasis on Hawkeye needing a much more iconic look in this series. Lots. Grills gives him the armor afterwards and thanks him. He said this was like the best day of his life. And you did have fun, right? I like Grills. Grills is so genuine. I love that scene. I thought it was wholesome. Did it seem completely genuine? Like, I did afterwards with Grills. I like that. Clint calls his wife to tell her he's not going to make his flight. Clint's wife is at the farmhouse we know and love, and I gotta say this right now. She's okay. She says it's okay, and that's what flight insurance is for. I want to say this. Can we get a version of her outside of this farmhouse? Like, have we ever seen Clint's wife outside of this place? I just gotta say, no, this is like the maybe 10th too many times. This is the only place we have ever seen her. It has to be. Am I wrong? I need a place, guys. I need a place. I need to know if we've ever seen her anywhere else but this place. And I really don't think we have. This is the only form of existence of her. She might not be real. He lets her know that about everything. She lets her know about everything and he's been through and how he has to face the tracksuit guys. She seems to know all about the tracksuit guys in the first place, and they're really on the same page. It seems like they're always on the same page. Like, they have a good relationship. Clint knows he's missing out on the gingerbread house time that they're doing right in the background at that exact same time. Clint is putting things in his locker, and as this phone call is happening, he hangs up and he locks it, and then he says, "Time to get myself caught." Cut to Kate at dinner. Jack is telling them how to make the perfect risotto, and Kate tells him he is almost too good to be true. She puts out that he's quite a sword aficionado, right? And then it kind of clicks with you, like, oh, the sword, right, the Ronin sword. Oh my God, I didn't nab that one together. Like, he grabs a sword off the ground, swords in the house. Last episode, you could have done that yourself as an audience member. You most likely did. Even in that moment, if you'd watched him back to back, you might even realize in that moment when he grabbed the sword, easy peasy. But I like that. Would say you're more of an epee, foil, or saber man. Do you like to fence? And he's like, oh, he dabbles. I dabble. And he says she knows her stuff. And she replies that she was a 2-time state champion. It makes her good with outdated weapons and aware when someone's trying to stab you in the back. Love that line. Kate is she's so good. I really like Kate. She does not take shit. Kate's mom asks them to change the subject. Jack says common interest is fertile ground for bonding. What a weird way to say. Like, what a weird phrasing, right? Common interest is fertile ground for bonding. What a weirdo. Kate agrees on the bonding, but in a very I don't want to do that sort of way. That's the way I wrote that. It's the best way I got, like, the expression I got from her. Kate agrees on the bonding, but in a very I don't want to do this sort of way. Kate says, why don't we break out a couple of these bad boys? He's got some spare fencing gear. Why not? Kate and Jack are now wearing white fencing gear. I love this. Kate and Jack stand in front of each other and tap their swords. Honey, be careful. Is when Eleanor says, and Kate's like, what do I ever not careful? And she's like, I was talking to Jack. And I feel like it may come off like kind of cruel to Kate, but at the same time, I think it also says a lot about her mom's confidence, Kate's mom, in her strength. I really do. I almost think, I think that was the intention there. Kate lunges in a flurry of strikes and parries as she touches the tip of her foil to Jack's chest. And you could tell he's kind of holding back. And she says, don't let me win, Jack. And they go at it again. Kate drives him back, and she stops. She says, "Stop letting me win." She goes furiously at him again for a third time, and Jack dodges pretty effortlessly. I mean, not pretty. He's just like he's almost like a Dragon Ball Z character, if you know that show. Like, they put their hands behind their back and they're just dodging. It's like the character's going full force at him, and he's not doing anything. Like, and she's like, What are you hiding? What are you hiding? She actually loses her temper completely. What are you hiding, Jack? And they remove their masks. She jabs at Jack's face, and he perfectly parries her. Kate says, what is wrong with you? And she says he's lying. He says he did downplay his ability, and she says she knew he would parry that attack because he is lying. Jack leaves to change, and immediately Eleanor says to Kate that she can't believe her. Oh my God, that was a very intense scene. And you know what? The fact that, dude, Jack can hold a sword. He can hold a sword. He was definitely holding back a big time from what we saw. Kate points out that Armand was murdered by a sword the same night that they had that fight. And how many people in New York are murdered by a sword per year? She's guessing none. Eleanor says to Kate she's not a superhero and that she needs to stay out of this or she will get extremely hurt and everything will be okay. And Kate's mom just always, she's the typical wrong person in the superhero movie about the superhero movie that the superhero proves wrong about being a superhero. Okay, so that she's like, what comes next for you? You're gonna be the head of Bishop's security. Like, lame. She's gonna be Hawkeye. At that moment, Jack walks in oddly fast. Cut to Jack. He's such a sneaky sneak. Put one foot in front of the door, and in a few years, you'll be working at Bishop's security. Ugh. As Kate tries to leave, Jack offers her a butterscotch. And on it says Armand. The one she saw in his place, we noted right before she found his body. Clint is waiting to be picked up by the tracksuit mafia. So yes, I mean, it's very clear Jack was involved, if at the very least, in Armand's murder. And, wow, they were very, 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 very argumentative at the auction. Clint is waiting to be picked up by the tracksuit mafia. They show up. A bunch of them pick him up, smack him. They do say she wants him in one piece. The lady we do see at the end. They put a bag over his head that he says he can see through. Kate calls Clint and tells her she has a crazy clue to tell him about. Something feels really off, and feels like she's being chased. She doesn't tell him that. That's what I wrote. She calls again, and someone answers and says, "Clint Barton can't take your call right now." Kate's face lowers, and she looks into an app, and she logs into Bishop's security. And it turns out that she's been tracking Clint, it seems. A bag is pulled off of Clint's head. They are in an abandoned toy store. Okay? Clint compliments their establishment. The main goon is offended. There's always so many tracksuit mafia guys in front of them. When there's there's a million, okay? The main goon is offended, because he did a lot to find this place, right? The mafia is convinced that Kate Bishop is a guy. Clint says he came here to talk to their boss. He's trying to be civil. This made them very mad. He unties his own hands, though, Clint, at this point. This made them so furious. They ask him, where is Kate Bishop? And Clint says he doesn't know, but at this very time, we hear something on the roof from above. They all look up, and boom, she falls through on top of them in a new, awesome suit, purple suit, getting closer to comic book look Hawkeye. As we move towards the end of this episode, cut to both of them being tied up. Look on Hawkeye's face when she falls through. I mean, he had a plan here. Clearly, Kate tells Clint she's just trying to help. Music starts to play. When we hear an arrival of some sort, because one of the mafia guys is like, "You're in trouble now, bro. You're in trouble now." The main tracksuit guy keeps telling them this, and then we get to the end of the hallway, and we see a woman, a black-haired woman, and she's standing confidently in the back, and one of the tracksuit guys approaches her as it pans up to her, and he's saying, "We got both of them." We got both of them. So what are they going to do to Hawkeyes, and the Ronins? They're both unified in these identities and both stuck to the name. Am I excited for this third episode? Yes. Are you excited for the third episode? Oh, I'm sure you are. Are we going to watch every single one together? You betcha. It's been great to have you here today on Marvel Maniac and MCU After Show. I thought this episode was fantastic. I think it was a little bit slower. I wasn't super pumped about a lower energy ending, but I got a feeling, like I've said for almost every other mid-series episode for a Marvel show, we are building up to a wonderful finale. Every good show has character-driven episodes. Every wonderful series has character-driven episodes. If we have a Marvel show with character-driven episodes, this Marvel show is doing correct. I love this show, and I'm so excited to see more Kate Bishop and more Clint Barton, and let's see where this story goes. Let's see where it takes us. I'm confident that I enjoyed every bit of this show, and if I'm not happy about this episode because it didn't have a niche little cliffhanger for one, and they're saving the real moments and beats because they were built up upon real story moments, and they were earned. That's what we are. If you'd like to support the show, we are on Patreon, patreon.com/MarvelManiac. We don't have anywhere else you can support the show as of right now, so it's $5 a month. We post bonus material a few times a month, about a minute or two extra bonus material, and it's just the best way you could support the show. And thank you so much for doing that if you do that. And we have marvelmaniacpod@gmail.com, TikTok, Marvel Maniac Pod, Twitter, Instagram. We are all there. Reach out to us. Let us know what you think about the show. Leave a review on the show wherever you listen to it. It means the world, and it goes the longest way. Let that review be a positive one. Let us know what you think. We always want positive feedback. If you got something mean to say, you can go the heck away. I can't believe I'm using preschool rhymes to tell you I have sensitive feelings. My superpower would be I'm emotional, and I love each and every one of you for being here, my fellow Avengers. We will be back from my perspective very soon for the next episode of Hawkeye, episode 3, and I cannot wait to talk to you about that. Until next time, Avengers, disassemble.